I want to talk about stereo guitars. First of all, if you're tuning into my channel for the first time, my name is Dave Stagl. I'm a mix engineer based in the Atlanta area. If you want to find out more about me and hear some of the work I've done, you can visit my website at www.staglproductions.com. If you want to get help with one of your projects from me, that's a great place to visit. But let's talk about stereo guitars. Over the last, I'd say 5 to maybe 7 years or so, I've been getting a lot of what I would call 2-channel guitars. And been seeing this when I'm doing live church services and live events, doing live sound. I've been running into a lot of guys these days. Like, it's pretty rare for me to find somebody who's actually using an amplifier anymore. It's primarily things like Kempers, Iridiums. I've seen a bunch of the Line 6 Helixes. Not a lot of the fractal stuff yet here in Atlanta anyways, but I hope to see some of that at some point because I'd like to hear how that stuff actually is. But with all of these setups, there's usually 2 channels worth. And I'm even starting to see this in tracks that are being sent to me to mix, which is kind of why I wanted to start talking about this. To me, these aren't really stereo guitars, and I want to kind of show you why that is. First of all, though, let me just say, because I know this is a very personal thing for a lot of guitar players, and I've had some people get kind of sad when I've talked about this before. And I just want to say, look, I'm a guitar player. I mean, I've been playing in bands. I played in bands for many, many years, and I'm on your side. I love guitars, and I especially love stereo guitars, and that's part of why I really wanted to do this video. I have a live recording here that I recorded, I don't know, at some point this year, and I had a guitar player. They had 2 I think both of the guitars in here were originally 2 channels, and I want to kind of play this for you as it came in and as it was recorded, so that you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. So here is the original recording of just the 2, and I've been mixing this, so there's some EQ and stuff, but not a ton because, you know, it was cool. So anyways, here's the original guitar. Oh, and by the way, it might be a good idea to listen to some of this with headphones. So I know some of you guys are thinking, well, what's the issue? That sounds cool. It sounds like there's stereo things there. And to me, the guitar sounds like it's all right here. There's stereo effects, but the guitar is right here. So to me, this is a mono guitar with stereo effects. And there's nothing wrong with that. In a live context especially, live sound is primarily a mono endeavor because in most venues, especially in the larger venues where I'm usually working, only part of the audience is going to hear each of the PA stacks. It's not like everybody is sitting out in the room and hearing both sides. Usually you really only hear more of one or the other, and that's a discussion for another time. But, you know, with having that guitar right in the middle, it's not a big deal because we're mostly mono and live sound. So you've got the stereo effect thing, and that's fine, but it's not really a stereo guitar. Now let me play you the same guitar to me in what I would call a stereo version. So right away, hopefully you can hear that we've gone from here with the guitar to here. It's gone wider. And just to help make this clear, I'm going to toggle between the 2. I'll start with the original version, and then I will go to the wider version. So here to here, the stereo version to me, it just feels better. It's wider, a little bigger. It's just cooler. And with guitar, I mean, cool is important, right? The thing that can be challenging in, studio environment or broadcast mix environment, when we have that guitar right in the middle, it's gonna compete with our vocal, and the vocal it's gonna win, guys. It's just the reality of the situation. I mean, even on a guitar focused record, the vocal is still gonna win when it's there. So when we can get it out wider into stereo, now we have room for our vocal right in the middle and our guitar to kind of live at the same time. Let me show you a little more with this. Let me just put this into context of the whole mix so you can hear what the difference is between that guitar when we go from here to here. So let me play you the full rhythm track with the guitar, first in mono, and then I'll play it with the stereo version. Now I'll toggle it so you can hear it happening in the mix. So, stereo version to me, much better. It's more what I'm used to hearing on the records I like. So, if you're wondering how am I doing this, basically this was a recording from, it was a church service. It was actually a couple of church services. So I took one recording from one service and I took the other recording from the other service, and I used one side from one service and I used the other side from the other service. It's basically kind of the cheating way to get a double of the guitar. And that's really the trick. When we want what I would consider to be a true stereo guitar, we have to have a second take. We need the timing differences. Now, I know a lot of guys, you're using different amp settings in your simulator. Maybe you're using multiple amps. I have an Iridium over here. I have different IRs in it to give it a little bit of something. And that stuff is cool and definitely worth using, but it's not going to get us this true stereo guitar kind of feel. To do that, we need a second take. We need somebody else or the same person playing the same thing, just so that the timing is a little different. And then we start to get wider. This is a good reason why having two guitar players live can a lot of times be better than just having one person. So something to consider. So I hope this helps you understand what stereo guitars really can be and why, just because we plug in two channels out of a pedal board or 2 amps or anything like that, why that's not really a true stereo. And to me, it's just a mono guitar. But something to think about as you're approaching your projects and recording things and doing your broadcast mixes and just making great music. So hope it helps. If you want to find out more about me, again, you can visit me at staglproductions.com. If you got questions, comments, leave a comment below, and I will talk to you soon.